The Minnesota Vikings are walking into a season that feels different than anything we have seen from this franchise in a long time. And the reason is not just the star power on the roster. It is the quiet gamble sitting at the most important position in football. Right now in Eagan, two quarterbacks who were both drafted inside the top 10 are splitting first team reps like the job belongs to neither of them. Kyler Murray is a former number 1 overall pick with a Heisman Trophy and over 150 touchdowns to his name, JJ. McCarthy is a former 10th overall pick entering year 3 with 10 career starts and a fan base still split on what he can become. The building calls it a true competition and the film backs it up. What surrounds this quarterback battle is the kind of weaponry most signal callers only dream about. Justin Jefferson is the best receiver on the planet, a player who tilts safeties and warps coverage just by standing still before the snap. Jordan Addison is locked in through 2027 after the team picked up his 5th-year option. Juwan Jennings arrived from San Francisco bringing a physical edge and a refusal to lose contested catches. Toss in TJ Hawkinson at tight end, along with Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason in the backfield, and you have a room so deep it feels unfair. Kevin O'Connell calls his system one of the most quarterback-friendly in the league. The veteran added to pilot this machine signed for just $1.3 million, while Arizona eats the rest of the $36 million guaranteed on his old deal. That contract hides a no-tag clause that turns this into a one-year audition for both sides. Nobody in the league blinked when Kyler Murray landed in Minnesota for $1.3 million until the fine print surfaced. Buried inside that bargain deal is a no-tag clause, which means the Vikings cannot use the franchise tag on him after this season. This organization signed a former number 1 overall pick, a 2-time Pro Bowler with 153 touchdowns, and they cannot hold him beyond this year, even if he lights the whole league on fire. This is a 17-game audition with both sides holding their breath. Kyler Murray walks into the building speaking like a man who already knows. The job is his. He told reporters his confidence is unshakable. JJ McCarthy talks differently. He describes the quarterback room like two students on opposite sides of a classroom. Neither quote settles the depth chart, but both reveal exactly where each passer sits in his career arc. Both quarterbacks carry durability scars that cannot be ignored. McCarthy missed 7 starts last season with an ankle sprain, a concussion, and a fractured throwing hand. Murray has finished a full healthy season only twice in 7 years. The depth chart matters because both arms will almost certainly be needed before December hits. General Manager Ryan Grigson and the front office constructed this room knowing the brutal math of a 17-game season. The front office maneuver that landed Kyler Murray in Minnesota still feels like something pulled out of a video game. Across the league right now, average starting quarterbacks command $40 million per year on their deals. The Vikings are paying $1.3 million for a Heisman winner. Ryan Grigson stepped into the general manager role and inherited a situation where the previous regime had already fired the man who drafted J.J. McCarthy. There was no loyalty left to protect. The evaluation became pure and cold, and what they saw was a chance to add elite insurance without touching their draft capital. Rob Brzezinski helped steer the search for a new general manager, while simultaneously greenlighting a quarterback addition that cost almost nothing, against the cap. They handed Kevin O'Connell a veteran with real pedigree without sacrificing the flexibility to build the rest of the roster. If Murray thrives inside O'Connell's system and delivers a playoff run, the Vikings look brilliant for stealing a franchise quarterback at the veteran minimum. If he stalls or gets banged up, McCarthy steps in with 2 years of development under his belt and a loaded weapon room waiting for him. The front office bought themselves a hedge against every outcome, and they did it for less money than most teams spend on a backup. While the entire football world fixates on the quarterback competition, the defensive side of the ball went through a transformation that will quietly define how far this team actually goes. The front office made a stunning move by trading Pro Bowl edge rusher Jonathan Greenard to Philadelphia in exchange for 2 third-round picks, a decision that cleared over $34 million in cap space. The keys now belong to Dallas Turner, the 17th overall pick from the 2024 draft, who piled up 8 sacks last season and looks ready to erupt into something special. The real secret hiding on this defense is a rookie who arrived with far less fanfare than a quarterback battle generates. Caleb Banks came off the board at 18th overall, a massive 6'6" interior defender weighing 327 pounds, who collapses pockets from the inside with raw power. Pair him alongside new nose tackle Dominique Orange and versatile veteran Andrew Van Ginkel. And suddenly, Brian Flores owns fresh trench pieces that make every exotic blitz package more dangerous. The interior push Banks provides is the hidden engine behind every disguise this defense wants to run. The back end holds its own weight too. Byron Murphy anchors the corner room, while Harrison Smith keeps reading opposing quarterbacks like a coach wearing pads, and Josh Metellus moves everywhere Flores asks him to go. The draft added Jacoby Thomas at safety and Jake Golday at linebacker. This unit does not lean on a single superstar. It is a deep, versatile group built to survive the 17-game grind that breaks thinner rosters by December. Kevin O'Connell has built a reputation around the league for running one of the most quarterback-friendly systems in football. His offense thrives on precise timing, the ball arriving the instant a receiver breaks out of his route. This structure has elevated every passer who stepped into it. Kyler Murray spent years in Arizona running concepts under Drew Petzing that share a surprising amount of DNA with what Minnesota runs right now. Same route trees, same shot plays, same sight adjustments off single high and two high looks. The football language overlaps so heavily that the transition reads less like learning a new book and more like picking up a familiar dialect. The friction appears the moment you compare what the system demands against what Murray does best. O'Connell's offense lives inside the pocket, on schedule, with the ball coming out before the rush arrives. Murray's gift has always been improvisation, drifting away from the original launch point, and finding throwing angles most quarterbacks never see. Those two instincts pull directly against each other. Precision against creativity, structure against chaos. If O'Connell bends his scheme toward Murray's strengths, the unit gains a playmaker who turns broken plays into points. If Murray leans into the timing and rhythm, he gains the structure responsible for elevating every passer who bought in. That tension sits underneath every rep these two quarterbacks take this spring. No division in football punishes mistakes the way the NFC North does right now. 4 teams, 4 legitimate playoff contenders. The Chicago Bears handed their entire operation to Caleb Williams and bright young head coach Ben Johnson. The Detroit Lions still lean on Jared Goff, and the physical identity Dan Campbell has hammered into that roster. Every matchup inside this group carries the weight of a playoff game. The date that changes everything sits right at the start of the schedule. Week 1, US Bank Stadium. The Green Bay Packers walk in with Jordan Love under center and a defense that has terrorized this division for years. The twist this time around is the health of Micah Parsons, the edge rusher capable of wrecking a game plan all by himself. He is working back from a torn ACL sustained last December, and his status for the opener sits in serious doubt. The Vikings are built to trade blows with anyone in this division. The opener against Green Bay is the first proof of concept, the moment where all the offseason theories crash into reality. Win it, and the path through this division opens up with a head start. The pieces are all laid out now. With this receiver room, this defense, and a veteran quarterback hunting his next contract with everything on the line, the Minnesota Vikings will win 10 games and grab a wild-card spot when the regular season dust settles. That is looking at a roster stacked with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Jawan Jennings, and TJ Hawkinson, then pairing it with a front 7 anchored by Dallas Turner and the rookie Caleb Banks collapsing pockets from the inside. The bolder prediction sits under center. Kyler Murray will outplay every quarterback in the NFC North not named Jared Goff, and he will do it by leaning into the structure Kevin O'Connell provides while still sprinkling in the off-script magic that makes him special. While Jordan Love adjusts to pressure without Micah Parsons healthy, and Caleb Williams navigates growing pains in a new system, Murray steps into the most talented supporting cast of his entire career with something to prove and a contract waiting on the other side, the JJ. McCarthy skeptics will spend the fall walking back their takes, not because the young passer fails, but because Murray thrives inside this specific marriage of scheme and weaponry. The $1.3 million gamble pays off in ways the league did not see coming. Week 1 against Green Bay at US Bank Stadium sets the tone for everything that follows. Everything about this Minnesota Vikings season comes down to a single truth. This team is not built for a slow start. The front office did not stack the receiver room, with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and Jawan Jennings just to hope things click by November. They did not hand Dallas Turner the keys to the pass rush or draft Caleb Banks in the first round to wait patiently while the defense finds its footing. Every move this offseason screamed urgency, and that urgency demands results the moment the Green Bay Packers walk into USS Bank Stadium for Week 1. The quarterback competition will resolve itself, and the clues are already there. The veteran speaks with the confidence of a man who has thrown 153 touchdowns and knows what his talent looks like when surrounded by real weapons. The younger passer talks about learning, about the process. Neither approach is wrong, but only one sounds ready to take the job and run with it. The durability question lingers over both men, which is exactly why the depth at this position matters more than any other spot on the roster. The NFC North will not wait for anyone to figure things out. Chicago is rising, Detroit is established, and Green Bay always finds a way to stay relevant. Minnesota steps into this fire with a roster side deep enough to survive the grind and a coaching staff creative enough to scheme around weaknesses. The hinge point remains that opener against the Packers, a game that sets the tone for 17 weeks of high-stakes football. This season will reveal exactly who the Vikings are, and the answers start arriving the moment the ball is kicked off in September. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more tomorrow. The time is now, and this roster knows it.